What was that, little green alien man? We just went to Magic Kingdom and we probably shouldn't go back again because it would be pretty repetitive content. Well, you know what? Too bad. Let's go to Magic Kingdom. So for real though, I did just go to Magic Kingdom, but I'm back again because I just love being here. I was not able to go for quite a long time, so I'm just taking advantage of any opportunity and reservation that I'm able to get to go. But a lot has changed since the last time that I was here. Some pretty significant things have happened and changed about being at Magic Kingdom, right? It rained pretty considerably bad earlier, so hopefully there'll be a pretty nice, beautiful sunsets today at Magic Kingdom. That's what I'm really hoping for in the coming hours as the park closes and the sun goes down. So hello from the Transportation and Ticket Center. One of the biggest changes is that these are no longer required at any Walt Disney World theme park, indoors or outdoors. Masks are no longer required for fully vaccinated guests. They are required for transportation, so you have to put this on for monorails, buses, and ferries. So I'm gonna go and hop on the monorail right here, take this over to Magic Kingdom and just see what I can accomplish and do in the final hour and a half before the park closes tonight, and hopefully see a really cool sunset. So the monorail cars are now without dividers. The entire car is open again, which is pretty nice, I think. There's still construction going on inside the Contemporary here, which is pretty cool to see. I do wonder when they're going to be completing that. Hopefully at some points in the near future. Alright, just made it through the Contemporary back there. The sun really hasn't gone down quite yet, so I'm still really hoping and optimistic to see a really cool sunset, because Florida sunsets are incredible on a day that it rains. There's the bus depot, which is kind of hard to focus on because of all these smudges on the window. How dare these smudges make my video bad. So I'm checking out the wait times as we're about to pass by the entrance to Magic Kingdom. They all seem pretty reasonably nice for the most part, so I'm excited to go see what it looks like on the day after a pretty torrential rainstorm in Magic Kingdom, because usually a lot of people leave whenever it rains, and the trick with that is to stick around because it gets much better after it rains. Alright, so I'm getting off of the monorail. You can see that it is now completely open without any dividers at all whatsoever in the train cars, so that's pretty cool. But now I'm heading down to the entrance, I suppose, to get into Magic Kingdom and then hopefully accomplish some sort of activities before the park closes. So heading into Magic Kingdom, where there used to be a sign that informed you of having to wear masks indoors and on all attractions and in queues, they just have a general COVID-19 warning. There's no sign whatsoever about masks. So pretty much like other theme parks, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask indoors or on rides or in gift shops or restaurants, but if you're not fully vaccinated, they do ask you to still wear a mask. So I asked Brennan what I should do today, and she said I should experience the attractions at Magic Kingdom, which enabled me to appreciate the atmosphere and ambiance of Magic Kingdom. So I'm gonna head over to the People Mover and the Tomorrowland Speedway and maybe the Astro Orbiter. I would be riding the Walt Disney World Railroad, but they have not announced a date for this to reopen or to complete the construction back there, but they have announced something pretty significant that's going to be opening up. Disney has announced, amongst other pretty significant changes, that they are going to be bringing back the fireworks at Magic Kingdom Happily Ever After and over at Epcot Forever on July 1st. So that is pretty significant as far as news to come out of Disney. Just a couple days ago, yesterday actually, was the very first day without masks, indoors or outdoors here at Disney. I'm pretty positive that they're loading every single row in a lot of the rides and attractions. Just a lot is back to normal here at Disney, with the exception of entertainment. Entertainment and Fast Pass, but honestly, I don't know if I really need Fast Pass to come back, personally at least, in the near future. I've been kind of enjoying the lines without Fast Pass, because Fast Pass, as cool as it is of an alternative access pass, it really does clog up the lines quite a little bit. Alright, so while it's still relatively light out, I'm gonna head over to Tomorrowland to ride the Tomorrowland Speedway, and then probably double back through Fantasyland as the sun starts to go down, and then maybe head back over to the People Mover once the sun actually has set for the day. There's the castle right over there, of course, and then I'm heading this way, which comparatively is actually pretty quiet right now. The crowds have been very, very intense at Disney recently, so this is pretty good. There goes the teacups straight ahead. I don't think I'll be doing that right now. That doesn't really give me much of an ambient experience at Disney, but these will, the little cars over at the Tomorrowland Speedway. It's kind of interesting. They're posting a 5-minute wait right now for Tomorrowland Speedway, but the line is pretty much fully extended over there. I wonder if it will be 5 minutes. I guess I'll go find out. Okay, so the lights came on, and I'm getting pretty close. It's been about 10 minutes so far. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes to make it down here. So this may not have been the best decision to make, but I only have an hour really in the park to hang out, but hopefully it'll be worth it. All right, so I'm in the very front car right now, which is very liberating. Man, I love this. This ride is so interesting comparatively to how other rides at Disney operate, because each individual car is like a ride in of itself. So if someone's going slow in one of the cars, it backs up every single lane of the attraction, or if somebody's car isn't running, or just depending on how many lanes they're operating with, it really just impacts the ride. And a couple of years ago, I came to Magic Kingdom to do early magic hours, extra magic hours, when we stayed at the Polynesian Resort, and I think this was the only ride that I did that day because they hadn't opened up all of the lanes. So it took a little while to get on, and it took a little while to get on today too. See, I've already caught up with the people in front of me, even though I was the very, very front car. There's Tron. Hey, it looks like they're actually putting stuff on up there. Right there, you can see the blue they're putting on the covering for Tron back there. Maybe I'll get to ride that in a little bit. It is getting dark. I was going to go to Fantasyland before I went to the People Mover, which I still might do because I think I want to see that at night. They did shorten the track to include Tron back there, so I do wonder if at some point in the future they're going to re-extend the Speedway track. After having done Autopia at Disneyland, this Tomorrowland Speedway really doesn't hold a match to it. It is so incredible over at Autopia at Disneyland. There's the Mad Tea Party right there, which means right around the corner I'm completing my lap around the park. It only took a couple minutes. A little bit of a bummer that it took like 20-25 minutes to make it onto the ride, but still fun nonetheless. All right, so I changed my mind. I'm over here right now, so I'm gonna go and head over to the People Mover and do that while it's still dusk outside, because when I came last time, I did end the day here in Tomorrowland, and I didn't really do anything, but I did walk through while it was nighttime, so I should probably hang out here while it's still slightly light outside, and then head over to Fantasyland, I guess, when it actually does get dark. All right, so I'm heading over to the People Mover. Does not really look that busy, so hopefully I'll get a pretty good car with a nice view, maybe either the front or the back car, which are always my favorites. Sounds like the Astro Orbiter is coming down right now, which still has a pretty significant line. But the People Mover is a walk-on, so that's nice. Okay, so I did get the front car, but there's nobody else here right now, so I have my own entire multiple trains at least, so that's pretty nice. So it doesn't look like I'm gonna get a really, really beautiful sunset today, which is kind of unfortunate. It's just a little bit too overcast. You can kind of see the sun going down way over there, but I think there are just too many clouds in the sky to have a beautiful sunset. But today would have been a really nice sunset with the weather, without a doubt. It's so interesting that the line for Astro Orbiter is so long when the People Mover is non-existent. Although this is pretty cool to ride at night, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I'm gonna ride this today because we did ride this relatively recently, and I do want to get to other parts of the entire park as well. So maybe I'll have to come back for it. Buzz Lightyear's only a 5-minute wait right down there, which is very tempting, honestly. But I love being here at night. I want to make it over to Fantasyland just to walk around over there, see if anything's different since I came here the last time. Let's see if I can see a little bit of a sunset behind the castle over there. Not really, it looks like, but it still looks pretty beautiful right there with the sun going down behind it. Okay, so there's a little bit of a sunset actually back over here, which is interesting. I guess this would be west. Yeah, I guess it is, looking back at the castle. So there's Tron with a little bit of the sunset kind of going down behind it. Well, that's pretty. See, I feel like they could totally re-extend this if they wanted to. They still have to put the train track, I'd imagine, pretty much right here, I think. Maybe going right alongside, adjacent with Tron. Maybe not underneath it, but I don't know. Okay, coming out of Space Mountain, it actually is a pretty nice sunset behind the castle right up there. It looks a little bit more pink in person, and pretty impressive. It looks nice. I have not done Carousel Progress in a little while, and it's one that Brendan and I really wanted to do recently as far as attractions we haven't done in a while. It's hard to talk when he talks because it's really loud, and I hope that you can hear me. See, so that's pretty cool. I think this is what the update was for People Mover. You can kind of see the trains are stopped back there in the station, so now they can stop the cars in the station without stopping it for the rest of the ride. So we're still going. Or here, I'm still going, I'm totally by myself, but over there in the station, which is behind some vegetation, they've stopped it. Looks like it started to go now, but they stopped it a second ago. Okay, that is pretty awesome. back there.
This time it's laughter.
That looks absolutely beautiful.
So drop in and
I've almost completed my lap around the People Mover in about 30 minutes before the park closes, so I'm gonna head over to Fantasyland and enjoy my time over there. No, so many narrations that are loud. Okay, so I'm pulling into the station right now. That was a blast getting to ride this at night. Weather right now feels phenomenal, and I got to ride it all by myself. There's nobody in the car behind me, or in my car, or the car behind me, so that's pretty nice. All right, so I'm off of the People Mover. I'm gonna head over to the castle to see if I can get a nice picture of the castle with the sunset behind it. So we'll see if I can succeed with that. Also, over at Tron, something that I just noticed, they actually uncovered the hole where they kind of like, they stopped up the hole where the track came out of the building. It looks like they took that off, so now you can see into the building again, if that makes sense, if you know what I'm talking about. All right, and it looks like I missed the sunset just by a couple minutes. There's no more red or orange or yellow or pink in the sky, but the castle itself looks very pretty, as always. So I'm gonna head through the castle and then through Fantasyland, probably end my evening over in Frontierland. I have about, again, less than half an hour until the park closes today. See, right now everybody's heading out of the park, even though the park closes in less than half an hour. There's still plenty of time to run around and have fun, but everybody's heading towards the exits. What are you doing, everybody? Come on! All right, so looking at the back of the castle, doesn't really look like they decorated anything on the back, with the exception of the turrets, which are visible from the front and the sides of the castle. So as far as 50th decorations, not really a lot going on in the back of the castle. So they are filling every row of the rides, like over here at the Carousel, and then Tomorrowland Speedway. The People Mover was pretty empty, so that one doesn't really count, but everything is pretty much back to normal here at the parks. It's interesting. I'm very tempted to go on Peter Pan's flights right now because I haven't been on in a little while. The last time I went on Peter Pan's flight, I think it was with my family when we came back in March, but I want to make it back to Frontierland to see what that looks like at night. I don't know if I've made it back there at nights in a little while, and I have about 15 minutes until the park closes. So there are the tangled restrooms right over there, and over Peter Pan's flight, it looks like they took down part of the scrim. This part is still up right here, but they uncovered half of it, which really opens this area up quite a lot. This is over by Columbia Harbor House. There are no more distancing markers over here, so this is a really nice, pleasant walk compared to what it used to be, where the line would go inside Columbia Harbor House. There was a scrim back there. It was quite a mess over here. One of Brennan's suggestions for my ambience experience and atmosphere evening at Magic Kingdom tonight was to ride the riverboats, but it looks like it closes before the park closes, which is interesting because I distinctly remember doing every single, or trying to do every single ride at Magic Kingdom about a year ago, and this was the last attraction that I did that day, so at least back then it was operating until the end of the night, but right now it looks like it's not. But this would have been a really nice ambient experience around Tom Sawyer Island. All right, I'm gonna have time for one more ride tonight at Magic Kingdom, and I'm heading back through Frontierland. I'm pretty positive that Big Thunder Mountain is open again, but I have ridden that a good amount recently. I am contemplating Splash Mountain because I haven't done that in a little bit, and it's probably gonna be Splash Mountain, honestly. Although it looks like Country Bear Jamboree is still open for the evening, but I'm gonna go ahead and bypass this masterpiece of an attraction and head on over to Splash Mountain to do that, to end the night, because it sounds like a perfect way to end the day today. I think nothing really to do with ambience or atmosphere, but a fun ride nonetheless. It looks like they're loading every single log, or every single row of every single log over at Splash Mountain, which is definitely something I'm gonna be missing from last year, getting your own ride vehicle, but now they're loading every single row and every single boat, and I thought the boat was gonna go down. There we go. Yep, that boat was full of people, but I have about 5 minutes to make it onto Splash Mountain. See, there's Big Thunder Mountain, back open from its very, very short refurbishment. But here I go heading over to Splash Mountain to ride this. All right, only a 15-minute wait. Hopefully this is more of a walk-on because the park is pretty much closed, or it will be by the time I make it up to the loading platform. Yep, it looks like it's going to be a complete walk-on to Splash Mountain to conclude the evening tonight. Maybe I will look out and get my own boat, but I guess we'll see. Okay, so I did not get my own log by any means. I am awkwardly in the middle of two other families, which is how it used to be, so I can't really complain, but it feels weird after not doing this for the longest time. I'm still gonna have a good time though. See how pretty this is at night? Looks like they did turn off the water effect over here, so That's good at least. I do wonder when they repurpose this into Princess and the Frog, just how much of this they're going to keep to be animatronics, because they could repurpose a good amount of these, probably. Okay, so we made it down into the laughing place. If you can hear me right now, or at least your left ear can hear me probably. This is one of those details I love about Splash Mountain. I really do wonder how they're going to repurpose all of this into Princess and the Frog. I'm sure they'll do a good job. Okay, heading over the top of the hill. Is it raining? I don't think so. Woo! Okay, so I survived Splash Mountain, at least the final hill of Splash Mountain, so that's good. Still no water effect over here, which is, ouch, interesting. Ouch. Alright, so the park is now officially closed. We are amongst the final people to get off of Splash Mountain and head home. So I was wondering if I was going to be able to go into the Splash Mountain gift shop, which has been pretty popular recently, just to see if they did have any more Splash Mountain merchandise. It is closed, so I have to bypass that for now to head back out of the park. From what I can tell though, peeking through the window, they did not have any Splash Mountain merchandise for this line at night right now, when normally during the daytime it is just filled with people, especially now. It's pretty nice. This is one of the more popular rides, especially during the summer, so I'm sure this is very busy during the day. So right here, this is called the Laughing Place, which is a children's play area, which is currently not roped off or closed. And I've never really gotten to come over here to check it out, because normally there's a bunch of kids running around here, so it seems pretty straightforward, just as a child's play area, intended I think for ages 2 through 5, so a little bit too small for myself, but has a nice little slide here. This is cool. Okay, I've gotten to walk over to the Laughing Place, how fun. But now to make the very long walk back to the front of the park from all the way back here in Frontierland, and then back to the monorail, which I'm sure is probably going to be pretty crowded, considering how they're not really doing distancing on there anymore, but you know, by the time I make it out there, maybe it won't be that bad. So the park is closed, but I wanted to walk over to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad just to see what it looks like at night again, because it's been a little while. Looks very pretty, and this is indeed open again. So that's cool. Very, very quick refurbishment there, but it is now up and going and sending trains into the mine shafts. Hopefully I can beat the weather that's allegedly about to hit Magic Kingdom. It rained torrentially earlier, so I sincerely thought that I beat the rain this evening, because I did not bring an umbrella, but allegedly it is coming back again. I don't know why, but I like to walk along the side of the lands here whenever I walk through Frontierland or Liberty Square, mostly because of the lighting, but it's also just a much more pleasant and visually interesting experience than just walking down the main pathway in the darkness right over there. Like, isn't this much more pleasant? Right now, really, the only people in Magic Kingdom are those with a dining reservation that are leaving restaurants like Liberty Tree Tavern, but other than that, it is pretty uncomfortably quiet, but I love it. Okay, I'm starting to hear a little bit of rolling thunder off in the distance, which means it probably is going to be raining here soon, so I'm going to try to go and head on out as quickly as I can, hopefully. I really wonder what this area is going to look like in a few weeks when they start fireworks. It is going to be very different comparatively to how it's been here in the past year, but it's going to be pretty cool. I am not going to be here for the very first Happily Ever After. I did wear my Wishes shirt to celebrate the news, but I probably won't be able to experience it for a little bit, just pending on reservations, but I'll try to experience it in some way. I'm not really big on the first culture, if you've noticed that about myself and vlogging and my channel. I like to experience things as I naturally would. Now, don't get me wrong, there are exceptions to that. I don't do the first culture for the clout of it. I do it if it's something that I'm legitimately interested in, how I did Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, but I don't need to be on the very first day of the People Mover, or the first day of Happily Ever After, or the first day of Velocicoaster, even though that would have been pretty cool, but I was out of town. I don't know, it's not what I do here, and I really just don't want to be mixed up in that kind of an environment. It just seems a little bit hectic and a little bit, I don't know, it's a little bit much sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? One more appreciation look down Main Street after not being able to come here for several months, something that I try not to take for granted if I can help it, because who knows when I'll be able to come back again. Realistically, reasonably, hopefully, relatively soon. That was a lot of alliteration there, but you never know, so don't take it for granted, right? So last time I took the ferry boats out of Magic Kingdom. I think tonight I'm gonna go and take the monorail for a little bit quicker of a trip. Hopefully, presuming that the line isn't too terribly long, which it doesn't really look like it is. Okay, so there's a little bit of a line, but nothing too intense, nothing comparatively to what it would be during a normal summer night here at Magic Kingdom with capacity, crowds, and summer humidity. I think the monorail's about to come by in just a second. There it goes. Okay, probably won't be on this one, but hopefully the next one back to the TTC before it rains. Yeah, everything is pretty much back to normal now, filling in all available space, moving all the way down. This is interesting. It's getting very, very close to normal. What do they say? Nature is healing. Alright, and we made it back to the transportation and ticket center. There goes a resort monorail. Right there, that was actually very fast. They took all of about 10 minutes to get onto the monorail and make it back to the station here. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, so now it's time to head back to the car. I think that I've avoided the rain here, but I'm not totally positive. It is very, very interesting. My different experiences riding this recently with the dividers in them, and it's just been such a cool comparative journey, I suppose, just from last year to now, and it's still not completely normal yet. Again, waiting for entertainment and Fast Pass maybe to come back, but I guess we'll see when we get there, right? So as far as a very last minute trip to Disney today, literally I decided to come here about 3 hours ago. I think it was pretty successful. I had an incredible time. I thought it was going to be pretty similar to my last experience. Oh no, it's starting to rain in terms of coming at the very, very end of the night, but it was a little bit different, and I appreciate that. And again, I just feel fortunate that I was able to come at all after not being able to come for a while, just enjoying an evening at the park. It's honestly fantastic. And hopefully next time I can come with Vernon, just because our schedules are, again, pretty conflicting generally during the week and during the weekends, but when we can make it work, we have a great time. So thank you for hanging out with me tonight, again, at Magic Kingdom. It is definitely starting to rain now, so I completely jinxed myself. Thank you to Brennan for just the support and the suggestion to come here and just enjoy the atmosphere of Magic Kingdom, which is generally what we do anyway whenever we come to Magic Kingdom, but just having that incentive to try to accomplish a goal in terms of what rides to do at the park is just always nice. So I'm glad I got to come. It's such a treat to be able to go to Magic Kingdom whenever I guess the scheduling permits and the reservations allow it, right? But thanks for hanging out with me. I'm excited for the future. No masks at Disney except on transportation for the most part. The fireworks are coming back, and we'll see what else happens in the future. It's exciting. So I'll see you soon. Have a good day, and goodbye.